Greetings, African people. I've got absolutely nothing new to say except to wish you peace, love, and prosperity. Thank you for sending me greetings or just seeking out, what I'm up to. Someone sent me, or perhaps not just sent me a comment, but one that really moved me. This person, watched a video and, added something to that conversation by saying that black people in the West and Caribbean areas do not consider Africa to be a place where you could go for a visit. And that statement really moved me because, I know parts of North America. I've been to Europe, been to parts of Europe. I know the Caribbean area. I have never been to Asia, and I certainly have never been to Africa, which I am planning to change very soon. I don't have the details of how it's going to work out, but I am determined this is something that I'm going to do, not just for my physical need, but spiritually I need to do that. Africa is not seen as a place where we can go as black people. We go to Europe, black people feel very special and very important when they can post pictures on their Facebook account with their visit to France or Germany or wherever in Europe. Any white country, black persons feel accomplished to visit, but we don't see Africa as a place we could go. When this person said this, and I'm not sure if it was a male or female, I felt so ashamed. And I'm thinking to myself, my transition to who I am right now took a while back. And just like many of these African people around the world, I was very much a slave. I never saw Africa. I had it in the back of my mind. South Africa is where I wanted to go. I've been wanting to go to South Africa for the last 10 years and haven't had the opportunity to do that yet. But recently, maybe the last 2 or 3 years, I have this deep desire to go to Ghana. Africa, one of the richest places on this earth. The very soil, the soil itself is a source of wealth for parts in Europe and North America. Europeans live there, continue to travel there, making inroads in Africa, learning the culture, learning the spirituality. Europeans and Asians are now living on the continent and reaping the benefits of that place. Most of us black people that come from the Caribbean or come from Africa, when we come to North America or go to Europe, we're making a living. Some of us might come into, more than we would have had if we were in wherever we come from. But we're not really reaping any legacy, wealth. I don't know one wealthy person from the Caribbean. I don't know one wealthy person from Jamaica that lives here in Canada. I don't. If you know somebody, let me know. So we very much still abide and live in these places like slaves. Subsistence living is what a lot of us do. And we are no better than the people who are in Africa. Sometimes some of those starving, hungry people in Africa, we're still living below the poverty mark. Yet we look upon them and the beauty of that place as if, we're better off. Still don't want to be associated to our motherland. I'm going to change that. I don't care how I do it. I'm concerned about when I will get to do it. The riches of Africa have long time been stolen. Some given by our own people, and some pillaged, past and present. But we don't want to be associated to that place, that wealthy place, that beautiful place. Have you been looking around and see what's happening in the world? Have you been looking at individuals who say, we are good, we are righteous? And have you been examining their attitudes and their behaviors? There's nothing about it that is good or righteous. It's pure evil. And good men continue to sit down and watch and do nothing. In my country of birth, people who claim that they are, justice people, people who claim that they are righteous people, are just as guilty as individuals who accept that they're evil. There's no difference between the killer and the one who is supposed to monitor the killer. So I don't want to spend no more time talking about these horrible things that are happening in the world, because these things are going to continue to happen until people say enough. What I like to do is to live my life, enjoy my life, do some things that make me happy. I want to be very selfish in doing this, without any concerns for anybody, without, being worried or concerned about your needs. For the first time in my life, I want to become very selfish and indulge in the things that my spirit demand. A trip to Africa, a trip to Ghana is on very high on my list. And shifting from poverty, because that's what it is, when you're not able to make a difference in the life of somebody else because you're restricted by funds, or you're restricted by, capital, you're poor. If you're wealthy and you're not able to exact change in the life of other persons, and we're not talking about greedy people, we're talking about children that are suffering, we're talking about the elderly, we're talking about women and young girls that are being abused in the world. I want to be in that position. So I'm not just asking for money for the sake of having money. I'm asking for wealth that will allow me to change. We do need certain capital to be able to do certain things. And I'm not waiting for man to give it to me, because most men don't want to use funds or capital or money for good. They want to use it for evil, and they also want to make sure that it stays in the hands of few. But I'm not waiting for those ones to make me wealthy. No. I call upon my ancestors, and I call upon the Creator, and I call upon my guides to bless me. And you too can be blessed. You too can experience abundance if you shift your mind from that control that tells you that you must be dependent on someone else. That wealth and prosperity only belongs in the hand of a few people. Or gold, or earth, or food. It's all wealth, and it belongs to us. And when we start seeing Africa, as a source, Africa as a place where we can reconnect with our energies, reconnect body, mind, and spirit, all things will be possible. Evil is not a color, it's not a race. Evil is an energy that feeds on hate. But so is wealth and prosperity and good health. Is when you unleash positive vibrations in the universe. You feed on positive energy. Surround yourself with individuals who are loving and kind and gentle, who are powerful, who are always seeking to unleash the sources that bring tranquility and peace. Nothing is impossible. Nothing will be impossible. There's always troubles. There are always going to be troubles in our lives. What we can do is surrender to know that sometimes these things are happening because they're forcing us into another direction. And it's not always bad that bad things happen. A lot of times terrible things happen because it either opens our eyes, or physical or spiritual eyes, or it brings us on a new path. Welcome every change. Be open-minded to understanding that all things work together for good. Be blessed, everybody. Think on these things.